moving like an enchanted dancer between visionary idealism and suicidal despair, fusing them in a manner that has never been satisfactorily analyzed. Shelley's poetry, at its best, celebrates the act of poetry making. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lips and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." These words come from the immortal poet Percy BBB Shelley, perhaps the recognized spiritual leader of the Romantic poetry movement. Recognized for his brilliance, although overly sentimental at times, verse by today's standards, Shelley nonetheless, in the last 4 years of his life, penned an extraordinary body of work, of which one I have just read to you, Ozymandias. An interesting character as well. By the age of 19, he had 1 year at Oxford before being expelled after writing his controversial treatise, The Necessity of Atheism. Of course, this didn't go over well with the religious rulers of the school. Marrying his first wife, he had a 2-year marriage, separated, and began to date the daughter of William Godwin, Mary Wollstonecraft, later known as Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, author of the novel Frankenstein, among others. Tumultuous love affair. He was a mere 29 years old when he perished at sea, journeying from the banks of one river to another in Italy, I believe it was. 9 days later, his body was found. A group of his admirers returned to England with his body and there laid it to rest in a funeral pyre, Lord Gordon among them. But another figure, a pirate, was among his group of admirers, and as legend goes, reached into his body and plucked his heart out of his corpse before setting it alight. The heart was put into a jar, and according to Professor Charles Ripley of Winona University in Minnesota, that heart is still circulating among literature and especially romantic disciples to this day. This, of course, cannot be confirmed, but it certainly demonstrates the type of life that he lived. His heart was on fire in the truest sense of romanticism. You might consider him sort of a rock star a la Jim Morrison type of personality.
Yeah, Percy B. I'll be here all week. That's what they call me. Element. Written by myself. Percy B. O world, O life, O time, on whose last steps I climb, trembling at that where I stood before, when will return the glory of your prime? No more, oh nevermore. Out of the day and night, a joy has taken flight. Fresh spring and summer and winter whole move my faint heart with grief, but with delight no more, oh nevermore.
I think Percy Shelley represents the extremes of the artistic vision. His idea that the true nature of the soul like William Blake, is imbued in the divinity of our imagination. Imagination for Shelley is God, is the ultimate, highest spiritual form that humanity can ever possess or aspire to. He was an atheist, and yet he believed in that form of divinity for the human soul. But beware, this sort of searching can certainly lead to troubled lives. Again, it sort of prefigures the swinging 60s era, the rock star icon model that we have now. And I've always felt that this sort of romanticism, again, if left unchecked, can lead to a lot of pain. People like him were willing to pay that price. Personally, I think it should be tempered with a little bit of restraint. Guys like Shelley really rejected any sort of rationality in comparison to their pursuit of ultimate romantic ideals. But again, I think it's still not all-encompassing. Romanticism is just one aspect of the human psyche, and it is an alluring one, albeit, and can often draw young men and women into situations that are quite passionate and intense. But as with anything that hot, you are liable to get burned if not careful.